As the political situation in Tanzania continues to unravel, more and more people are asking, who is this Tundu Lisu? Bwana Lisu is of course the presidential candidate for the opposition Chadema against incumbent President John Pombe Magufuli. The reality is that the ruling CCM party has never faced an opponent as formidable as Tundu Lisu. And we're going to find out exactly what I am driving at on our show today. Interestingly, Bwana Lisu reminds me of yet another presidential candidate who had circumstances that were not very different from Lisu's, and who many believe won the 1992 presidential elections in Kenya. I'm of course talking about the late Kenneth Stanley Njindo Matiba. Matiba suffered a stroke induced by poisoning, which is believed to have been carried out while he was detained by the government of President Daniel Arap Moi. He was flown out of the country for treatment in Britain and returned to vie for the presidency in 1992. The first multi-party elections in Kenya since independence. Many keen observers of Kenyan elective politics, including this analyst, believe that he was the real winner of those presidential elections, and he won them very sensationally. Tundu Lisu in Tanzania took in 16 bullets. Miraculously, none of them went anywhere near his head and brains. And so he has retained his sharp legal mind. A stroke, which is what Matiba suffered, is a very different ballgame. You know, the most formidable political opponent you can ever face is a grassroots mobilizer. And this is precisely what Tundu Lisu is. As a matter of interest, so was Matiba. A quick look at how Tundu Lisu won his first parliamentary seat 10 years ago should prove to be very instructive concerning what we're talking about here. Singida East is Lisu's home constituency. He was born there 52 years ago, which makes him almost 10 years younger than the incumbent, President Magufuli. Before Lisu came back home to campaign for his parliamentary seat, he had already gained quite a reputation as an activist at the national level, and even got into trouble with the then government of President Jakaya Kikwete for his work fighting for the rights of mining workers. He was fighting against the exploitation of locals in the mining industry, and naturally found himself in confrontation with some very powerful individuals within Tanzania, because mining is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, this is one of the things about Lisu's character. He is very accustomed to fighting mission impossibles. And his work in the mining industry is a classic example. You see, most of us prefer to take on battles where we have a fighting chance of winning, at the very least. For Lisu, it would seem that the battles that attract him most are the ones which seem to be impossible to win. And so when he arrived in Singida East in 2008, about 2 years before the elections, there are many who were convinced that he was wasting his time. Because this was a CCM, the ruling party, political stronghold. In the entire constituency, there was only one opposition candidate elected into office. Yeah, and it was a Bwana Joe Lema, who was a village chairperson. The other elective posts, including Member of Parliament, were all CCM. Lisu hit the ground running and focused on informing citizens, constituents, of their legal rights. And he zeroed in on something known as michango, forced donations. Yeah, this is a menace right across Tanzania, and it is a major abuse of government authority. Allegedly to supplement local development projects, government officials regularly force people, in this case poverty-stricken villagers, to make donations towards these projects. In a vast majority of cases, the villagers will not have the money, and so the government official will grab anything of value in the homestead, a chicken, a goat, whatever is of value, and they'll walk away with it as the donation of the villager. And you guessed it, there was very little or no accountability at all over how this michango was spent. And those who resisted were arrested, by very aggressive party vigilantes, CCM party vigilantes. And so what Lisu did, he abolished these michangos. Everywhere in the constituency he went, he told people, stop taking this nonsense, don't pay up. And he told them, if they ask you, tell them your local member of parliament told you not to pay up, and refer them to me. Some people were arrested, and Lisu helped secure their release. That dramatically won the confidence of the people and made Tundu Lisu very visible in Singida East constituency. CCM of course hit back. They said Lisu was denying the people development. The people themselves, of course, did not agree. They said Lisu had liberated them. Ukombozi ulikuwa umekuja Singida East. And Lisu did not limit himself to his constituency. He traveled right across the region, encouraging Chadema candidates and helping them raise finances. Many of them did not even have motorcycles to campaign with. Lisu shared his 2 vehicles. And suddenly, things started happening politically. But when the elections came for the parliamentary seat, it was still not easy for Lisu. Because CCM is quite a political party. And they can do anything politically to win a seat. And Lisu won narrowly, with 50.89% of the votes cast, thus beating the CCM candidate. Mission impossible. Accomplished. In the run-up to the 2015 elections, Lisu focused on voter registration, something which had been ignored in the past by CCM. I guess you don't bother the voter registration when you're dominating the whole constituency. There's no need. You will still win hands down. Lisu was of course re-elected for a second term in parliament in 2015, but the strong showing of the then opposition presidential candidate Edward Lowassa in the region has to be credited to the hard work Lisu put in the region, and indeed in many other parts of the country, on behalf of the Chadema party. And indeed there are those who say that even the 2015 presidential elections were fiddled with, and that the person who actually won those elections was Edward Lowassa. And after 2015, Lisu quickly emerged as one of the harshest critics of President John Pombe Magufuli. As President Magufuli's draconian measures started taking effect, many politicians got scared. Many went silent. Others defected to the ruling party, to CCM, but not Lisu. Lisu showed such courage, that many politicians even feared to be associated with him. In 2017 alone, prior to the failed attempt to assassinate him on September 7th, he was arrested at least, wait for this one, he was arrested at least 6 times. In other words, one arrest every 1.5 months. Now, I've covered that assassination attempt in great detail in earlier videos on this channel. I'll put links to some of them below this video on YouTube. You can take them in. Lisu is married to Alicia Magabe, who is also a lawyer. And they have 2 children who have been studying in the United States since Lisu went into exile in 2017. Folks, that is the formidable opponent John Pombe Magufuli and CCM are up against. Somebody who thrives on taking up missions that are impossible, like removing the CCM ruling party from power for the first time ever. And so, it'll be very interesting to see how the political situation in Tanzania develops over the next few days, weeks, and months. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.